Are we live? Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're live. Just want to make sure the feed's coming through. All right, everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sean Logan. We got a couple awesome guests here on the show. We got Kingsley Edwards and Aaron Nakamoto. They are both cryptocurrency enthusiasts like myself. They're also into just decentralization and freedom. And you guys are like kind of like anarchists. You consider yourself an anarchist a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not a little bit, but yeah.
A lot bit.
A lot of it. Yeah. There's a common misconception about anarchists, and people hear that word and they think, like anarchists riot in the streets and throw Starbucks or garbage cans through Starbucks windows, and like that's not the case at
Molotov
all.
cocktails.
Yeah, and anarchists just mean that we don't want anyone to rule us. We kind of want to govern ourselves, and we just want to be left alone.
Yeah, it's basically like the extreme form of libertarianism or individualism.
Absolutely. So what led you guys down this path of, anarchists and freedom and cryptocurrency and all this stuff? How'd you guys get into all this?
Well, I was before her. I ended up teaching her the way a little bit. But I was part of Ron Paul 2008 and 2012. So that was a big eye opener for me. And he just had a platform where he talked about individual liberty and smaller governments. And from there, it just kind of progressed. And then we started going to Anarchapulco, 3 or 4 years ago. And now, I started the Las Vegas Bitcoin meetup in 2014. That's where we met. You want to tell that story again? we tell the story quite a bit, but it's a good one.
Yeah, so I was working downtown at the D Las Vegas, and my boss at the time, the owner of the hotel and casino, had sent out a memo and said, "Hey, we're going to start accepting Bitcoin. Make some free time today. We'll be around. We're going to set you up with a wallet." Blah, 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 blah. So as soon as he sent that out and the announcement went out, there was a press release. I got a call from a guy who wanted to throw a Las Vegas Bitcoin meetup. And so we planned the very first one in the D right after they announced that they were the first hotel and casino to accept Bitcoin. And we had the news, we had a Bitcoin bar, we had a hot dog stand where you could buy Bitcoin.
I don't know. Well, you buy hot dogs with Bitcoin, yeah.
And yeah, so it was 2014, so it was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, that's when I really fell down the rabbit hole into the whole like freedom, libertarian, just movement. And honestly, he had shown me a video of Ron Paul in, the 2012 election, where they the mainstream media completely just like, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh,
yeah, actually, that's where I learned a lot actually about censorship too, is where
they totally censored him and wiped him off the map.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember seeing all the rallies where he would like fill up stadiums full of people, and they wouldn't give him any coverage, but it was on the internet, like on YouTube, it was getting uploaded, but none of the mainstream media would give him any coverage.
Yeah. Or when he would place like second in a debate or like in a poll or first, and they would just totally ignore it and be like, "Oh, well, Mitt Romney came in first, and this person came in third, and this person came in fourth." It's like, hello, you skipped second. Like, you totally just ignored Ron Paul.
Or they would say that their own polls weren't credible because Ron Paul placed first. Like you're gonna say that your own polls that you created aren't credible because someone that you didn't want to win won.
So it was blatant. Like, I don't even know if censorship is the word, but they just like totally wiped him off the map. Did not give him any press at all. It was a totally unfair fight because if they did give him the press, he would have won.
Yeah, we did. We ended up, he was like a front runner, especially in 2012. 2008, he was a little bit far behind, but 2012 we had quite a few people that were supporting him.
Yep.
So yeah, that's that was kind of our intro to liberty and the idea of kind of anarchism.
Movement.
Yeah.
And like good ideas don't require force.
That's right.
So that just makes sense to us.
So I know everything was a lot different back in 2008, 2009. The social media technology and communication technology has evolved so much more since then, and so many more people are now using social media. And I don't think very many people at all believe the mainstream media, but now we see that same kind of censorship happening on all the biggest social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Now it's almost like those same entities that were controlling the mainstream media and censoring Ron Paul back in 2008, those same people have grabbed a hold of the biggest social media platforms and are censoring people And pretty much like if you're talking about things that they don't like, they'll go into their algorithm and make you go invisible. I mean, they'll
Look what just happened with Alex Jones and Milo Yiannopoulos and Laura Loomer.
Paul Joseph Watson.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a conservative voice that doesn't go along with the mainstream, narrative, then you're going to get shut down, demonetized, and totally decimated on social media where your reach is zero.
Yeah, and whether you like Alex Jones or not, I mean, they're proving him right.
Yeah. It's like, why else would they be shutting these people up if they weren't saying something, that was right, or saying something that was going to disrupt their control system? So let's talk a little bit more about the technology behind Bitcoin and how it doesn't just apply to sending and receiving payments. The use case for this stuff goes so far beyond that. Could you elaborate a little bit about the technology and how it actually applies to social media and how it applies to almost everything?
Yeah, I mean, we're just seeing the kind of the decentralization of everything, of money, of just technology in general. So there's apps out there where you can't be censored, quite just like how Bitcoin is uncensorable for the most part. It's just becoming more and more where it's just decentralized, where there's more people. There's not like a centralized authority that can shut you down, which is the big thing. There's still ways to kind of game the system and kind of do a little bit of censorship. But it's very hard, and it's almost impossible. So it's really exciting to kind of be living now and kind of experiencing this. It's like definitely the crypto revolution is happening. We're in the midst of it.
Yeah.
So I always have a lot of newbies that come onto my channel and message me on Facebook. So for anyone who's new out there, the reason that Bitcoin is so significant is because no government or central authority can freeze your money or stop a transaction from happening. So, before it's like people didn't really have a choice what kind of money they use. If you were born in a certain country, you had to use the money that government or centralized banks in that country told you to use, and you didn't really have much of a choice. But now we have a choice with Bitcoin and all the other cryptocurrencies that are coming out there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the same stuff applies to social media. So it's like if we can decentralize the money, we can decentralize social media and fight against the censorship.
That's the big thing. It's just the ability they can have their, system that I think inevitably, history has shown will probably fail. And, we can basically opt out of the systems that they've created, these centralized authorities, and just, say no and kind of live in this alternative or deal in this like kind of alternative environments, and it's all peer to peer, which is the great thing too. So, like you said, even with my previous companies, I've had a couple startups and crypto startups specifically, and just being able to, there's no bank holidays, there's no bank hours. You can move, you can take your crypto and go. It's borderless, so you can go travel and not have to worry about not only having
TSA confiscating your money if you have over $10,000 on you, which is absolutely like they will steal your money if you go from one place to another with more than they can say you can have. It's ridiculous.
You can send, you can send payments. I've paid developers all over the world, on the weekend, at night. It doesn't matter. It gets there within seconds, or at the most, 10 minutes with Bitcoin, unless the network's congested.
Yeah.
But it's just really crazy that we're experiencing this, and
we're all a part of history. Like, this is really truly a revolution and the biggest wealth transfer that I think we've ever seen before. So it's exciting that we're a part of it, we're in it, and we're building it. Like something my friend he put a talk on at Anarchapulco, and he was basically talking about how to build your freedom. And I mean, this is it. Like, you just do it. You find solutions to problems and you put them on blockchain and you build out your freedom.
Pretty much. For anyone who's still new on here, blockchain is kind of the underlying technology that's backing cryptocurrency. So a blockchain is like a public immutable record of transactions for Bitcoin, but blockchain goes beyond that because you can put anything on a blockchain. Voting could be done on a blockchain. You could put your car maintenance history on a blockchain. You could put real estate records on a blockchain. You could put marriage contracts on a blockchain. The use case for this stuff goes so far beyond just sending and receiving payments for goods and services. So it's really it's it's revolutionizing almost every aspect of life is blockchain technology.
Yeah. Yeah. Businesses can be on blockchain, or, you know, any type of organization. There's different types of payment structures. There's with smart contracts that you can do on blockchain. So
yeah, like with smart contracts, for example, like, and one of my buddies was sharing this with me, but for example, like, let's say you were doing your car payments on a smart contract. That smart contract could be like linked up to your vehicle. And then if that person didn't make their payments, like, the car won't start. So there's all kinds of crazy stuff that this blockchain and smart contracts is going to be using for.
I know. I'm excited for the day where I no longer have to deal with the DMV.
Yep, that too. So now we were talking a little bit earlier about how social media is being censored, and you guys are actually part of a project, a social media project, a decentralized social media project. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're a little bit more centralized, even that I would like at first just to make the user onboarding as easy as possible and the user experience. And also because decentralized technology is so new that that sometimes it's just a little bit hard to navigate, a little bit hard to use for newcomers. So, but what we're doing is like I said, we have a centralized approach at first, but then we're going forward after kind of our initial launch and push. We'll be taking bits and segments of certain aspects of it and decentralizing it out. And we have crypto fully integrated in it. So it's just basically, you know, we're taking a lot of the best of Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, YouTube, where we have where you can create, you know, you can post audio. So you can kind of create, you know, podcasts on the go. You can do live streaming. You can do videos on demand, short or long form texts.
There's a super chat feature built in.
Oh yeah, for the live streaming, yeah, there's a super chat feature built in, similar to
that
YouTube.
connects like right to your crypto wallet.
So is this interface built up enough to where you could share your screen and kind of show us some stuff on it?
Not well. Yeah, we don't have it set up yet. We have most of the back end built, but we're just we're hooking up the front end right now and designing a little bit of it out.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, we just have the page right here. Let's see, that work? So this is the site float.app. Just gives you a little brief summary of it, but we'll be releasing more information this month. So we're excited to get this out here. We have a lot. We know we have, like, you know, personal relationships with a lot of people that have been getting censored on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. They're, you know, getting kicked off, deplatformed overnight for what we feel is unjustified reasons. And, you know, a lot of these people, these content creators, you know, people don't realize that it's like, oh, you just make YouTube videos, but I mean, this is their livelihood.
Oh yeah, there's people that have had their whole channels demonetized, but that channel was like their source of income that they support a family with and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, that just happened to our friend Carrie Wedler. All of her videos just got demonetized just like that, and it's crazy.
And she was kicked off of Twitter too for no reason. I mean, she's not like she's not Alex Jones style or anything. It's just she's just kind of, you know, libertarian,
like cute girl, just saying her piece.
Yeah,
about how she feels
talks about politics.
You know, these governments and these bankers and people that are trying to control everything, they actually hire people to go on social media and find these people that are talking about this, and then they'll be like, oh, look, we found this person, and they're putting information out there that doesn't suit your agenda, so boom, censored.
I mean, you got censored, didn't you? Didn't we talk about
there was a shooting that happened in Las Vegas a little over a year ago, the Route 91 shooting. While it was happening, it was the biggest story on every social media platform, on every news channel. And I actually went and made my own little video on my YouTube, and I was talking about how these shootings are orchestrated. They're manufactured to push gun control legislation. They're to spread fear, because, you know, these governments, they use fear to control people. Fear is one of the #1 ways to control a mind. And I was talking about all this stuff. I was linking it to MK Ultra Mind Control, which was a government mind control project that was started decades and decades ago. That I think
that's proven true.
And my video, within less than 24 hours of posting it, because I know how to optimize my videos and put in the right keywords for searchability, it had 85,000 views in less than 24 hours, and it probably would have gotten millions, but because it showed up on their algorithm and it wasn't agreeing with their agenda, they gave me a strike on my YouTube channel, sent me an email basically saying, we're giving you a strike on your YouTube channel just because I was violating their terms and conditions.
Right.
And, they took my video down. Yeah. They took my video down for 3 weeks, and then after all the hype, and within the media was done after the 3 weeks, then they put my video back up.
Yeah. And now, you know, it's just getting so bad. I mean, if you look at any current events, anything in the news on YouTube now, all their suggested feed is CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. You go down, you have to go like the page, like the bottom of page 2 or page 3 to see an independent journalists or anybody, you know, individuals just reporting on things. And typically like CNN will have like 1.3 thousand views, you know, or 2,000 views. And then these independent journalists like Tim Pool or others, you know, yourself, getting, you know, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views. And it's just, you know, they're
totally just being suppressed.
Yeah, they're suppressing any message really, besides what the mainstream narrative is.
So you got the Float app. That's your guys' decentralized platform. I mean, there's a lot of other ones too that are out there. It's just they're not really as prominent as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, etc. It's almost like these big social media platforms that everyone's using. This is like turning into the new mainstream.
Yeah.
Right.
Now it's controlled.
The thing that we've noticed is, yes, we do have a lot of competitors in the space. There's a bunch of decentralized platforms popping up every single day because people recognize it's a problem that needs to be solved. But all of these platforms, they're just missing something, you know? I don't know what it is, but it's a hit or miss, and they're missing something.
Yeah, I tried to move over from you know, the normal platforms to decentralized ones last year, and I just noticed, like the usability wasn't even for someone who's like familiar with a lot of decentralized platforms. It just, you know, it wasn't very easy to use, wasn't easy to navigate.
There's a learning curve that a lot of
it's an evolving technology, and it's a new technology, so there's still going to be a lot of little kinks and bugs that need to be worked out. But I think eventually what will happen is, you know, as the younger generations come up and the older generations stay on Facebook and this stuff, eventually it's not going to be cool anymore. You know, the younger generation always comes up with their own thing, and, you know, that's just how it's been, you know, as social media has developed. I mean, I've been using social media for like 15 years now or something, but you know, it's always like the younger generations don't want to do what their parents are doing, so they're going to go to a different social media platform where their parents can't see what they're doing, and it's probably going to be a decentralized platform. Yeah,
well, because, you know, Facebook has lost 15 million users since 2017, and you know, Facebook is kind of seen as like the mom or grandma platform now. And then Twitter is kind of more seen as like the leftist kind of platform. A lot of like leftist journalists, especially, and they're just kicking people off and shadow banning people all the time on Twitter
for no reason.
YouTube, it's, you know, same things happening on YouTube now. So, you know, we see even like PewDiePie is moving to move to DLive.
The live stream, decentralized live streaming app with their own cryptocurrency integrated, where they can do cross-border payments or global payments.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, PewDiePie had the biggest following on YouTube.
He's considered the king of YouTube. The most subscribers, the most views.
Yeah.
So that's a big market signal, and I think you know, there's going to be a huge shift that's happening over the next couple of years.
And even like Instagram now is more of the younger generation, because Instagram is what all the younger kids were using that didn't like Facebook, but Facebook went and bought Instagram for $1 billion. So now they got that. So we really need some more decentralized platforms to come out to really just take over the younger generation.
Yeah.
And, let people have freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Well, don't you worry, kid, because we're on it.
It's just so weird. Like, why freedom of speech is now controversial? It's just so strange, you know. It's I can't believe that we're at this, you know, day and age where that's like the First Amendment is like seen like you're protecting free speech. You know?
Something also neat about our platform is we're actually going to be making it extremely easy to onboard users to cryptocurrency. So if you're not familiar with how crypto works, we're planning on making it extremely easy and accessible. So I feel like that's something that is really lacking on all of these platforms too, is these people just expect these people to come on and know how to use a digital token or, you know, like a digital currency. And there's a learning curve there. You have to be able to educate the masses about that. So
there's a little bit of a technology barrier that's stopping it from really going crazy with mass adoption. But we see this barrier you know, it's going away as more of these, even like these point of sale systems are coming out for accepting cryptocurrency at mom and pop stores or at big box retailers. Now we have point of sale systems where someone can go and scan a QR code and then boom, decentralized transaction, prints out a receipt right there on the spot. And we see that happening in Venezuela. Venezuela's, everyone's using Dashcoin with the point of sale system. There's more and more coming out. So, you know, pay attention to this stuff. For anyone who's new on here, you know, if you're learning this now, you're going to be way ahead of the masses. And because a lot of these cryptocurrencies and this stuff we're talking about, they have limited supplies. They can't be inflated like the USD. You know, they're encrypted with like military grade encryptions. So it's created a deflationary effect. And that's why today Bitcoin's trading for around 5,700 to 5,800 per coin. And a decade ago, it was trading for 10 cents.
Yeah.
So,
I just watched a video. I've seen it before, but it was Obama talking to a panel. I think it was at South by Southwest. And he just sat there and he was like, you know, a Bitcoin wallet is essentially a bunch of people having a Swiss bank account in their back pocket. He goes, it's impenetrable. He said, you know, do you really want something that's super impenetrable where people can't do tax enforcement and, you know, where people can't get in? And you just sit there and you look at it and you're like, yeah.
And wow, why can't the average person have a Swiss bank account?
Right.
Like you have to be
now anyone can just download a Bitcoin wallet.
That's the beauty of crypto.
And yeah, if you have a Bitcoin wallet, you own a set of private keys, and those private keys is the only way to access it, and you can store it offline. So essentially, you are acting as your own bank.
Yeah.
When you download a Bitcoin wallet.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about this Anarchapulco thing. So you guys have been attending these events, and you're actually helping organize one here in Vegas. Give us the rundown about Anarchapulco.
So Anarchapulco is an event that we attend every year in Acapulco, Mexico. And it's been getting larger and larger and larger over the past 5 years. I think the very first one was about 100 people. And last year, I think, or this past February, got up to about 3,000 people. You know, so the movement's growing. So something that we had noticed is Acapulco is a little bit difficult to get to. It's pretty expensive. The hotel and the flight, and it adds up. And a lot of people can't make it because either the flight path is too difficult or it's just a little bit too expensive for them. So what we wanted to offer was a solution to that problem.
And some people think that it's dangerous.
And also, yes.
It can be, but just like any city, you just have to kind of know what to do and what not to do.
Right. So, you know, like we wanted to offer a solution. So that's why we wanted, or we are, throwing Anarcho Vegas. It's Kingsley, myself, my friend Yakov Markel, and World Alternative Media, Josh Sigurdsson. And so we just wanted to kind of throw a conference to have people come to one of the most accessible, most affordable cities in the entire country. You know, like a hotel here is like $35 a night on a Sunday night, you know, like it's crazy. So, you know, July was a really good month to do it because Freedom Fest is in town, which brings in thousands of conservative and liberty-minded people. And so we figured, you know, it'd be a really good weekend to do it, the weekend that they end, and then we'll go ahead and do our thing. It's a one-day event. So, yeah, we're pretty excited about it. It's July 19th to the 21st. Do you want to go ahead with the schedule and let them know?
Yeah, well, the main conference is on the 20th.
No, 21st.
21st.
Yeah.
Then we have an event on the 19th hosted by Larkin Rose and his wife. Are they married now?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll just say wife.
Yeah, we'll just say wife. They've been saying that. They do a seminar called Candles in the Dark. And that's where people, you know, typically you kind of learn how to talk to people, you know, kind of normies or statists that still believe in the idea of governments. More, you know, kind of bigger government is kind of better, you know, or learning how to deal with those types of people and how to really, you know, get them thinking on their own and come to their own conclusion that, hey, maybe limited government or even no government
would be a good
one of the first things I always like to talk about to help kind of onboard people or get them to wake up really quick is etymology, the study of language. You know, when you break down these words that we use, like even the word government, That comes from two Latin words, gubernare, which means to control, and mentes or mens, which means mind. So the word government literally means to control the mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, little things that they don't teach you in school. When's the last time you learned about etymology? Do you remember learning about etymology in public school? Of course not.
Right.
Not at all.
Right.
The government runs the education system. They're not going to teach you about etymology.
Yeah.
It truly is an indoctrination camp. But I mean, well, we can touch on that another day.
But yeah, so you kind of learn how to, like I said, talk to people, maybe your friends or family that are still in the kind of pro big government camp.
Asleep, for lack of better words.
Sorry?
Asleep, for lack of better
words.
Exactly.
How to kind of wake them up. And they encourage you to actually bring them to the events, and so they can kind of experience it as well.
And if they stay till the very end, they'll actually pay them some money. I think it's like $50.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, if you stay because it's a 2-day event. So they're like, if you stay the whole time and you talk to, Larkin and Amanda in the front of the room and at the very end, and you make it to the very end, if you stay, we'll go ahead and we'll give you $50.
If you don't, is it $50 regardless, or if you don't?
No, it's $50 if you stay.
Okay.
Yeah. If you don't get the money. So it's a little incentive too.
So then on so that's the 19th, 20th, and then the 20th at night, we're having a penthouse party where we'll have Lynn Ulbricht there, who is Ross Ulbricht's mother. And
from the Silk Road. I don't know if you're familiar with that story.
Yeah, I know what Silk Road is. It was basically an online shopping platform where people could pay in cryptocurrency anonymously.
Mm-hmm.
And because people started using it for things that the government considered illegal, they shut it down, threw the guy who created it in jail, and he's still in jail.
Yeah. So Ross never, sold drugs. All he did was just create the website, and they gave him double life sentence. So it's pretty sad. So what we're doing is we're throwing a party on the night of the 20th, like Kingsley said, and proceeds are going to the Free Ross campaign. And so we're pretty close with his mom, Lynn, and she's a really sweet woman. So anything we can do to help. So that's actually included in the ticket price. However, if you are a Freedom Fest attendee or just someone who doesn't want to actually attend Anarcho Vegas, but you want to still support the Free Ross campaign, we're also selling tickets online specifically for the Free Ross party, and that's $30, and $20 of that goes to cover our costs, and $10 is going towards the Free Ross campaign. So
Good stuff. All right. That was about all the questions I had for you guys. We'll leave links to all that stuff in the description of this video. Anarcho Vegas, there's a link. The Float app, there's a link. We'll leave a link to your guys' Facebooks where people can get in touch and get more info on that stuff.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me. And is there anything else you'd like to say?
Can we just cover the speakers real quick of Anarcho Vegas?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Here, I'll just share the screen again. Let's see. Okay. Can you see that?
Yeah, we can see it.
So yeah, here's the site, anarchovegas.com. You can buy your tickets directly from the site. Here's a list of the events going on. And we have some pretty cool speakers. So G. Edward Griffin, best-selling author, most notably The Creature from Jekyll Island, which covers money, Federal Reserve.
And how the Federal Reserve started.
Yeah. Larkin Rose, who we touched on. Benny Wills will be our MC. He's a great wordsmith, and he has his own YouTube channel that I believe has had some issues too with censorship as well, called Joey Camp. Then we have David Rodriguez. He's great when it comes to, he talks about peaceful parenting, homeschooling, things like that. Carrie Weather, she's been kicked off of Twitter. Her YouTube's been demonetized. Josh, who's our partner in this, he's also been demonetized on YouTube for Fisher Independent Media. So we have, Luca Rodalski of We Are Change. So we have a pretty great a lineup, and we have more people that we're even waiting to announce.
This week.
This week that will be really exciting. So, yeah, good stuff.
All right, awesome.
So yeah, if you want to go ahead and buy tickets, you can go to Anarcho Vegas, ANARCHOVEGAS.com. And if you have any questions, you can always email me at Aaron@anarchovegas.com.
All right.
But yeah, Sean, thank you so much for
thanks for having me.
having us on. I really appreciate it.
Likewise. All right. I'll be in touch. Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.